Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 11.
No way.
Episode 11. I know. We are the Ginyu Farce. My name is Alex, and I'm here with John.
Hello.
And Brendan's back.
What it do?
Alright, so before we get started, as always, you can find all of our information on our link tree. That's linktr.ee/thegfp, and there you'll find all the places you can listen, which is pretty much any place that you would listen. And then you can find our Instagram. I try to throw something on there every day, and our watch list so that you can kind of follow along if you want to.
Despite my numerous times brought up, Alex will still not put my OnlyFans on there. But stay tuned for that.
I will never put your OnlyFans on there, John.
It's a DB daddy.
Unless you do some Dragon Ball related.
Yeah, it's
content.
DB daddy. Dragon Ball daddy.
You like wear the chi and everything?
$25 a month and you can find out, sweetheart.
Jesus. Alright, so before we kind of get into the episode, I just thought it was interesting. I saw yesterday that in Dragon Ball News that the guy who animated the most recent movie, superhero, he wants to do a remake of the original Dragon Ball if Toei was interested in that.
I mean, John, you were saying this earlier, it's
You can't remake it. You can. No, I should rephrase that. You can remake it, but you can't say 25% of the show.
all the stuff
anymore.
you're saying,
you have to rewrite.
Well, they would just take all the horny stuff out, I think.
I mean, yeah, but
then you just have a pure fighting show, and then there's
where's the comedy in that? And that was kind of the point.
Well, they can make Roshi funny in other ways. They can make him. I think in today's culture, the things that he did crossed the line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, they kind of towed the line.
Yeah.
And so you could do something today that toes the line.
That's fair.
I
mean, I guess anime nowadays is still horny as fuck.
Well, but not if they remade Dragon Ball. Would they? I mean, would they remake it as what it was? Would it be more kid friendly if he remade it, or would it be more gauged toward adults? Because that would be a really good question.
I mean, there's a market for both. I'd say we definitely market the nostalgia of the older crowd, but then you also reach the newer kids with something that's a bit more geared towards the newer generation. So it just depends on, honestly, where they think they'll make the most money in doing so.
Don't kids right now not like old stuff though?
Kids love Dragon Ball Z.
I mean, yeah.
Well,
especially
I get that part, but Dragon Ball wasn't really made for kids.
Well, because I think that's more because of the way it was released here and not really the content itself. Because we got Dragon Ball Z first.
Yeah.
Well, even then, I think that an American audience wouldn't have received Dragon Ball the way they did if Dragon Ball Z didn't come out first.
Oh,
because we were just dumb.
Well, Dragon
kids.
Ball was canceled.
Yeah.
Twice. It first ran as a different show where Goku's name was Zero or something like that, and that ran for one episode, and then Dragon Ball aired one episode, and then another episode a month later, and then we didn't get another episode for a couple years, or something like that. We covered it in another episode.
Yeah, so it had to be a group of people who were already invested in this franchise, who got it through hyper violence and flashy colors, and not to into a higher degree than what Dragon Ball provides. And it's
yeah, I think if Dragon Ball would have come out first, it could have been kind of fit into the same realm as Pokemon.
Yeah.
like the anime or like Power Rangers,
Mm-hmm.
like something like that. But then it would have been harder for kids to take it seriously later.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a catch-22.
Yeah.
But
Either way, I think it's a cool idea.
yeah, me too.
I hope that he figures something out. I would love for them to redo it, but towards a more mature audience, where maybe you still rewrite that dialogue and take the horniness out, but you don't have to rewrite it because they're horny jokes. You rewrite it because you can add something else in there.
Right.
Like that could be different.
I wouldn't say like rewrite it because of the times. I would say rewrite it just because it hasn't aged that well,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's not that funny anymore.
Yeah.
Personally,
it's only funny because of the initial shock value the first time you watch the show. After that, once you rewatch it, you're like, okay.
Yeah, for sure. So what do you guys think? Let us know, and we'll get into the actual stuff here. So first, a recap of Piccolo Junior Saga Part 1. Goku reaches the lookout and meets Mr. Popo and Kami for the first time. Everybody who's killed by King Piccolo are brought back to life. Goku begins 3 years of training with Kami and Mr. Popo to prepare for the next World Martial Arts Tournament, where he is told that Junior will compete, Piccolo's like reincarnation. They get to the time skip. 3 years later, they start the tournament, and Chiaotzu and Yajirobe are defeated by Mercenary Tao and Hero, respectively. Tien defeats Tao, Goku defeats Chi-Chi and proposes. Junior defeats Krillin, and match 4 commences between Yamcha and Hero. So, who wants to take the first one?
Yeah, I got it. All right. It's rematch, right?
Yep.
Episode 139, rematch. Yep. Hero defeats Yamcha in match 4. Hero is revealed to be Kami. Match 5 commences between Goku and Tien Shinhan.
Well, you have the answer to your question.
Of who Hero was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought that I really kind of like had a feeling that it was going to be Korin.
And when you told me that, I thought that was interesting.
Just because like Korin's like kind of like likes to play tricks on people.
Yeah, it's a bit more.
And like Hero's kind of like doing the same thing.
A bit more goofy.
Yeah, and he's like
from Kami.
Yeah, he's like enjoying the fact that people aren't taking him seriously. It seems like something Korin would have done.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought that.
I don't think it was a bad guess, and when you said it, it made me think. You know, it would have been a lot funnier if it was Korin.
Yeah.
But yeah, Korin never leaves his tower.
Yeah.
My knowledge.
No, I don't think he does.
Never. I don't recall a time he does at least.
Yeah, would have definitely made the fight between him and Yajirobe a bit more funny.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have been able to do that fight though then.
Yeah.
But yes, that would have been hilarious.
So the episode prior ends with like Hero like revealing himself to be a great fighter, and he like I think like rushes up and hits Yamcha real hard, and then it stops, right? So now we're back. Everybody sees that he's like this good fighter. And Yamcha uses his legendary
Wolf Fang Fist.
And this was surprising to me. It didn't do anything. It didn't work.
I know it always works.
Which, like, what? That's your ace, man.
I know, but no, not anymore. We'll find out. Yamcha's been training. He has a new ace, which is really silly.
What is his new? Oh, the Spirit Ball.
The Spirit Ball, which is essentially a Kmart version of the Spirit Bomb.
Because it can like move. He can move it.
Yeah.
Well, can you move this? It's just raw spirit energy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Right. I don't know if he actually is taking it from others.
Yeah.
But like it looks just like Spirit Bomb, but
it's yellow.
Real little. Yeah.
But he can move it around. Which actually I thought was pretty cool.
And that's probably one of the coolest things Yamcha's ever done. Putting that thing underground and placing it
and shooting it back up. Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
So yeah, props to Yamcha on that one, but
He's clearly outclassed though.
yeah.
And he calls Hero a space nerd.
Yeah, well, Hero tells him, he says, I'm not from around here.
Yeah,
I'm an alien.
Yeah.
And
Which we don't actually know that yet. I think that was a dub error. It has not been revealed that Kami is an alien yet. But whatever.
yeah,
He said he was.
Kami does, give Yamcha some props after the match, and it's like, oh, you're good, yada, and it's like, stop lying, come on now, you don't have to help him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yamcha's life is pain.
he did almost hit God with the spirit ball.
Well, he did hit God.
Is God? Did he hit him?
Yeah, he hit him.
Okay, he
and
hit
he came
God.
up.
He hit God. I mean, that's for Yamcha. That's like.
And never forget Bulma's famous words when Yamcha says, "He'll always be my champion." For now.
For now. Right? For now. Vegeta has entered the chat. So then we get into the semifinals. It's Tien versus Goku, which I was looking forward to.
I figured you would be.
Just because it was the finals in the last one. They've clearly both done a lot of training. We saw that Tien is like improved from his fight with Tao, where he just like beats him like it was no big deal. And I figured we'd get a lot of good punches and kicks in and quick cuts and all that good Dragon Ball stuff, which we did.
Launch fires are gone in the air. That's fun.
Yeah, she does that a lot, and then
nobody does anything.
It's during the match, right?
Yeah, she is like cheering from it. She's like, yeah, or something like that, or maybe it's a machine gun.
She's definitely from Florida.
Yeah. 100%.
And then just nobody. Maybe they look at her funny.
Yeah, nobody cares really.
Like, they look like horrified that she pulled a gun. But I'm like, bitch, you're not running. Get out of here.
They're like, all right. Anyway, back to the fight.
Yeah.
And Chi-Chi goes and joins Krillin and Yamcha on the sideline area too. So they could like have some banter.
Yeah, she's starting to get to know the crew. Roshi predicts that Goku's gonna win, which I mean,
yeah, and it's an even fight so far, right? It's like
it's even,
and they're both like way up in the air, and they're like doing that Dragon Ball thing where they're like, and they're just fighting super fast up in the air, and it's like a bunch of just blurred lines.
See the aftershock of their punches landing.
Yeah, it was like that. And then that's where that one leaves off.
You do have in here that no one has actually landed a blow yet.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of they're both dodging and kicking really fast.
And that's pretty much it for that one. So 140 is Goku gains speed. Tien gains the upper hand over Goku thanks to his superior speed. Goku removes his weighted clothing and turns the tables on Tien.
And now enters the classic trope. I'm just wearing heavy ass clothes.
Yeah.
Well, and you forget the first step is Tien has to first boast,
right,
about
how fast
he's like, Goku, you gotten so strong, but there's one thing you can't beat: speed.
Yeah. And this episode could probably have been 5 minutes.
Yeah.
This fight was a bit.
Well, the clothes thing is 15 minutes. He takes off his shirt super fast or super slow, and he takes it off, and his boots, and we see the whole thing, and he sets them down, and then Tien goes to pick him up, right, and they're he's oh, it's so heavy, what is this?
And the announcer's talking about it while Tien's doing that. And then Krillin and Yamcha just fucking come out.
Yeah, Krillin walks on it. They walk into
We'll take care of these for you.
And then he goes to pick up the boot, and he's like, "Oh, it's so heavy. It's so heavy." And they just won't. They're like, "Okay, fine, we get it. It's heavy."
I will say that you have on here the total weight is 220 pounds, but that's only for the jacket and the wrist cuffs. The boots were not in that weight.
So the boots weigh something too. So maybe
Yeah.
we'll call
So
it
over 220 pounds.
Well, yeah, somewhere in the 300 ballpark.
Right on.
More than what Goku probably weighs.
So also when they're like up in the air, like fighting before he takes off his weighted stuff, can Goku fly now? They don't explicitly say that he can fly, but like he is like up in the air for like a long time. Like if he's not flying, he's defying gravity, right?
Well, we've already seen a variety of techniques that either like let you float or like stop you for a brief second. Like what's the one that Krillin used? Stop and then like floated back over. Or like we've seen Goku do his little twister thingy.
Maybe he can just like double jump.
Yeah, that's what it is now.
And he's fighting up there. He has his other jump, so it lasts longer.
Yeah,
I don't know. Because you'd think if he could, they would have said it. They would have drawn attention to it, right?
Here's the thing: you gotta keep in mind we have 10 episodes left.
Yeah.
At this point,
mm-hmm.
I don't know how much more they're really explaining about the fighting. Probably, I think it's just fighting.
Yeah, fair enough. So he gets his weighted clothing off, and now it's round 2, and
I wanted to just touch on this real quick. Once he finally gets his weighted clothes off, on top of like the 15 minutes it takes to get all his weighted clothes off, there's like another 5 minutes of Goku just fucking jumping around.
Oh yeah.
He's wee woo over there.
He starts like showing off. He's cockier in this saga.
And even Tien says something. He's like, I've never known you to.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, homie, whatever.
Yeah, he definitely like. I don't know. He's cockier than he's ever been,
for sure.
I mean, he did train under God for 3 years.
Yeah, I mean that would probably make me a little cocky too. But when they start to fight in this round 2, Goku takes Tien's belt. I forgot about
silly.
that. And then his like pants fall down.
Yeah, he pants his Tien.
It's a pretty fucked up thing to do.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, like that's again like that's not something.
It's
Goku
like you just
would
humiliated your mans on like public TV.
Yeah.
Okay, but also like that's your belt. How is it not already fallen off? Like the man literally just reached out and grabbed it, and then it was just like, there was no knot, no nothing. Like you made yourself pantsable, homie.
That's not the Goku I know.
I mean, I'm not saying it was right. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that it's like that. It's
you gotta stay ready out in these streets.
I mean,
it's not well crafted.
Yeah. Just like 19-year-olds playing grab ass with each other.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, Tien's not 19.
Oh yeah.
Tien, we don't know how old Tien is.
Yeah, exactly. But he's in his 20s somewhere.
Yeah, gotta be. Maybe like mid-20s.
So
still funny.
So he gets his belt back. He gives it back to him. That was real nice of you, Goku. And then he says he will have 12 eyes with his next technique.
Last thing I want to point out, you do see Tien's tidy whities, and they do a real hard flash to launch, who just gets red as a pepper, and I thought that brought me a lot of joy.
Yeah. He's wearing like boxers, I think, isn't he?
Is he wearing bright white boxers?
Like, are they like Walter White tidy whities?
I don't know if I go that far because he's like fucking jacked. So
yeah,
like even if he was, no one's gonna make fun of him.
But regardless. That brings us to episode 141, The 4 Faces of Tien. Tien Shinhan creates 4 bodies using the multi-form technique, and Goku wins. When Tien made copies of himself, it reminded me of
Murasaki.
Yeah, that was his name, right? From the what's that horrible place? Muscle Tower in the Red Ribbon Army arc, because he had like a bunch of versions of himself, right? And that was never really explained.
They never touched on it,
but
we all just want to forget.
Yeah, we're just like okay, because it didn't really matter. But Tien does it. He calls it
quadruplication.
Yeah, quadruplication. So they all go into the four corners of the ring and they start firing energy blasts, and then Goku jumps up into the air, so they all fire into the sky and they hit him and he crashes into the arena, and then he does that thing.
He falls hella far too.
Yeah, he does
Like over 100 feet.
he comes crashing down, and then he does that thing that he likes to do where he pretends he's hurt, and then he like gets up and he's like, fooled ya, I'm totally fine. I don't know how many times he's done this so far, but
Too many.
Yeah, enough that I'm over it.
yeah, like enough that I'm like, he's gonna do that thing.
Yeah. And so I think it's fun because Tien like starts to get he gets a little upset that Goku is not hurt. And that's when Roshi chimes in with my favorite quote of the episode. He's about as honest as you can get, but when it comes to the laws of physics, he's a wanted man. And then Tien says something about like you could drop a whole city on him and he'd be fine.
Yeah.
But then he gets up and he's like, no, like we're gonna fight some more. And he's like, I already found 2 weaknesses in your thing.
Yeah.
And just kind of talks shit to Tien and kind of goads him into doing it again.
Yeah. He's like kind of, I don't know,
gaslighting.
I don't like his attitude in this art.
It's pretty silly.
Because Goku's supposed to be like pure, like pure-hearted, and
He's just being a dick.
He is being a bit of a dick.
Yeah, he's a bit of a dick. But I mean, also you could say that God was being a bit of a dick. And like,
true.
I mean, so like maybe
where did he get it from? Yeah. So Tien goes to do the same thing again, where he gets into the corners, and they fire. Goku jumps up, but this time
Uno reverse card.
He uses solar flare, which is Tien's move, right?
Yeah.
He learned it from Tien.
And we haven't touched on this in a while, but Goku has the ability pretty much to see a move be used once and then be able to replicate it.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it done in a while, but he does pretty much do that.
He can basically do that. So when they're all like blinded, because he's got this excellent eyesight, right? So like he's especially affected by the solar flare. He hits all 4 of them out of bounds. And he said he realized that when he split into 4, he also cut his strength in 4.
Yes.
So they were 4 of them, but they were all a quarter of the strength.
Yep.
So that was that. And then they shake hands and they're buddies again and they walk off the stage. And that's the end.
And
seems like a pretty dumb technique to me. Like you're just weakening yourself.
Yeah, I mean it's
a gimmick. It's a gimmick, a strategy, and that's you get one shot at it.
Right.
I mean it would have its place, I think. Like if you were outnumbered and you had a decent amount of strength above the last guy already, but you were outnumbered. But I don't think it was the place to use it because it didn't really. I mean, he hit him out of bounds so easily.
Here's the thing: I don't think he really had anything else to use. He didn't want to. You know that he didn't want to win the same way as he won last time because he barely won last time.
Yeah.
And so because of that, he wasn't going to use the tri-beam. He wasn't going to blow the ring up again because it's not even the finals. Can't do that.
Right.
And so I think that was just the best thing that he had to hit him with, honestly.
And he knew that he was Goku was stronger and faster. So he was getting a little desperate, I think.
Sure.
Yep. Now, why don't you take the next one?
Brendan, why don't you take the next
one? All right. Kami versus Piccolo. Match 6 commences between Hero and Junior. Junior performs Evil Containment Wave Reflection to trap Kami in a bottle.
Yeah, this was a really good episode, I felt like. Yeah. I really enjoyed this one.
It was quick. Rewatching it, I forgot that
it moves pretty fast.
Like this to me was a 2-episode fight, and they
and
it was done.
Yeah, I agree. They should have done a little less weighted clothing and a little more comedy.
But I mean, you also can't forget Goku is the main character. So right. Kami is simply just here,
but by default, the least interesting character. Your main character, like,
Yeah.
it's like anime main character syndrome, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He lacks depth, but so I was really happy with this episode. They have like this whole like back and forth about like you can't, if Kami dies then Piccolo dies and vice versa, so like they're trying to like figure out how this is gonna go.
Yep.
And Kami says that Goku can't defeat Junior. He says he's too strong.
Well, he's a dick about it too. Cause I don't know if he. Yeah, I guess he does really just come out and say he's too strong for you. But like, what Kami's main issue is that he doesn't think Goku will kill Junior
Because they will kill Kami.
Yeah, and so he's. And to me, it felt like Kami was basically just being like, "You're a little bitch. Like, I'm just gonna take care of it."
Yeah. Well, I think he says he says that Junior is out of his league. I think.
Yeah. Yes, he does say that.
So they start fighting, and Kami tells Junior that he was always the weaker half.
Is this before or after they start speaking
in Namekian? This is.
Well, we don't know it's Namekian,
don't know,
but yeah, we assume it's Namekian.
Yeah. No, this is before, and then Junior fires an energy blast that Kami just barely dodges, and then it creates like this huge like explosion in the ocean. Like,
oh yeah.
It felt like this fight felt like it's like a Dragon Ball Z fight.
Yeah.
I thought. Like it was very over the top, a lot of like big explosions.
Yeah.
A lot of cool like moves, like Kami like holds his hand out and like lifts two fingers up, and then
that was cool.
And then like the ground shoots up, like it was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that part was pretty dope. I wish that they would do more with that.
Like
It's all energy beams, but like the telekinesis is kind of
like,
gangster.
Those two have like so many like powers that they like showcase like one time.
The
and then
Namekian
never
powers
do
are
ever
so
again.
dope. Well, they're finally. I don't know if you're caught up on Super or not.
I'm not.
Okay, so you start to see them bring back some of these old techniques, and they really hit on some of the nostalgia in Super, and then the Namekians get a pretty good showing of it.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Nice. So where did we leave off here? Oh yeah, this is when they start talking in another language,
yes.
and we don't know what it is. You know, they don't like say.
Yeah,
and it hasn't been revealed yet.
Mm-hmm. And you have it in here. This is where it really like hits home for me. It's like, yeah, this is God and the devil fighting. Basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
When they start doing the other language, because it doesn't. It almost feels like it, like the language. It doesn't sound like any language that you've heard on Earth.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like that. So it's very obvious that it's alien-esque.
Yeah, and it was cool the way that they like conveyed that, because they
added like a hub almost.
Yeah, and they changed like the way their tone, like their voices sounded a little bit different, like more, I don't know, foreign, like alien, I guess.
Yes.
And like there were all these symbols showing up on the screen that
like
are
subtitles,
and they're clearly not like any characters that we use on Earth, you know. And I thought that was pretty cool. But and like you get it, you're like, all right, this is like some other weird language.
Mm-hmm.
And it was they did a good job of that, I thought.
Yeah.
So Kami decides he's going to use the evil containment wave, which is a smart move.
And I like his little jar. It's just a tiny little sake jar.
Yeah, he's got a little baby, like
little like a shot of sake.
Yeah. Like when you get those little shooters at the gas station.
Yeah, it's super
except
cute.
It's got a wood cork.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a smart thing to do.
Unfortunately,
and I wasn't expecting it because I, forgot a lot of this stuff. But I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
I thought it was going to work for a second. Junior watching, I was like, oh, that's a super good idea.
Yeah. And then Junior is able to reverse it and just send it right back at him.
Puts down that reverse card.
Mm-hmm. And
That's where they end it, pretty much. I mean,
Basically.
So he, Kami leaves the body of Hiro now, and so he gets.
Hiro doesn't go into the bottle, and then
No.
Hiro wakes up as just a regular
Guy. Yeah.
who doesn't remember anything, by the way.
Right.
And I thought this was fun. So like he doesn't know like where he is. He's on stage. He's like, what? So he like gets off stage and he's just very casually wandering around. His kid comes up to him
Mm-hmm.
and is like, that was so amazing. And like, oh, for some reason, I'm just like, you weren't like trying to find your kid. Like you woke up in like a giant festival, and your first thought wasn't like, oh shit, where's my kid? My first thought was like, yeah, I'm just gonna casually wander.
It's just dads in the 80s, man.
I guess so.
It's like whatever.
He's like, no one's gonna kidnap my kid.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a little silly.
It was a weird decision, but that's yeah. So we're in 143 now. Which you want to take that one, John?
Yeah, I guess I'm already talking about it.
Yeah.
Battle for the future. Junior wins his match after Kami is unable to respond with the 10 count. Goku explains who Junior is to his friends. The final match between Goku and Junior begins.
Yeah. So Hiro, his body is just like laying there basically,
We pick up right as this whole thing is happening.
Yeah.
and he doesn't wake up in time, so the announcer counts to 10, and then
Which honestly
Junior's
is
the winner.
probably the better option for him.
Oh yeah. It's good that he didn't get up.
Yeah.
Because he would have just like shot him a glare and his head would have exploded probably or something.
But so then so that guy's part in the story is done now. He can go be a disappointing father.
Yeah, but I was like, while this like whole thing was happening, I was like Goku, maybe you should like do something. Like, is the tournament that important? Where like you would rather like
We're gonna
win
find
the
out
tournament
just
than-
how important the tournament
like
is.
the tournament's more important. That this is like the fate of the world.
Tournament is love. Tournament is life.
Like everything is at stake, and he's like, "Well, I can't step in there. I won't be able to compete."
It gets silly. Like
Yeah.
it gets so silly.
Like I'm like, bro,
Like, bum rush this dude. All
let
right.
it go. But anyway,
Junior goes ahead and fucks around with Goku and like talks some shit, and then goes to give Kami back to him,
yeah,
and then throws the bottle in the air and just swallows it.
Yeah.
So that's great.
he like pretends he's gonna give it to him.
Oh, and then it starts raining, so you know it's about to get
Yeah,
serious.
a storm comes out of nowhere, and then
Real serious camera angles, real serious faces.
Mhm.
Krillin's like, "This is crazy," and I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
it is crazy."
Well, what I think is, it's easy to lose sight of is that, I mean, in my mind, this is the climax of the show.
Mm-hmm.
The entire, we watched 140
yeah.
episodes,
Yeah.
and this, we've reached the peak.
Yes.
So I'm very excited
Yeah, me too.
about this one.
Junior also tells everybody who he is. The game. He tells like the fighters who he is.
Yeah, they're all kind of in the courtyard, and he
Because
comes out of nowhere.
Tien still hasn't pieced it together somehow.
Yeah, Tien's.
This guy looks exactly like the bad guy we
And-
just killed.
And the guy and Kami used the technique that he had been training to use to defeat him.
And he's still.
And he's still like, he's a henchman.
Well, I think it's funny because he's like, I am the reincarnation of Piccolo, and Tien's like, what? And I was like, dude, it's not that far off from
Yeah.
a fucking, like, you were 90% of the way there on Henchman. Like, was it that far of a leap to just jump there? Regardless, we finally get into round one, and it's pretty standard for like how fights start. It starts really even.
Yeah.
Goku makes a mistake, enemy capitalizes on it, and then they're left wondering if Goku's gonna be okay right off the bat.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's pretty much how we
And
end
like,
the
oh, this
episode.
fight's,
Because the fight only is like the last 3 or 4
yeah,
minutes.
this
of
is
the
like
episode.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically that episode.
Yep. And the announcer starts counting, and that's where it leaves off.
Yeah.
And that brings us into 144, Super Kamehameha. Goku uses the Super Kamehameha against Junior. And to everyone's shock, Goku's okay.
I thought that was the end of that one. I thought it was already
Yeah,
going to be over.
Like, oh, that's how the show ends. Okay. So now we get into round 2. And there's some powering up happening from Junior. It seems like we're even. Goku dodges some laser eyes.
We get the stretchy arms.
Yeah, he does the stretchy arms, but Goku grabs it and like flips him. He knees him in the face, and then he disappears.
Goku's really trying to use the speed to his advantage. You can see that early on.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool because he, and you can also see Junior takes a pretty, I don't know about rapid, but a pretty median descent into madness as this fight goes on. He gets angrier and angrier, and like you see more and more King Piccolo starting to like, all right, we're getting a little close.
Yeah, he like jumps up in the air and he starts to charge up an attack. And so now we know that Goku must not be able to fly yet because he's just standing there waiting for him to do it. Or maybe he's just obeying the rules of Dragon Ball, which is where when someone's charging, you
gotta let them charge.
Have to let them charge.
Yeah.
It's a law of land.
So he's like getting ready to use his attack, and it kind of looks like Junior is going to like blow up the whole arena along with everybody who's watching. So Goku ends up jumping up into the air at the last second, which causes Junior to fire at him in the sky instead of on the ground. And he dodges the attack, and it's the explosive demon wave from the previous saga, which destroyed the city, and it like blows up an entire mountain.
Mountain range, honestly. I think is more accurate.
It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, and they do show a pan of the audience. Yeah. And this time and people are slowly like, oh fuck. And
I'm kind of thinking like maybe they need to stop doing these tournaments. Like this is getting a little out of hand.
Oh, dude, the ecological disaster.
Yeah.
Alone, like we just wiped out an entire ecosystem.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where it's like, there's a tournament and there's gonna be mass destruction.
Evacuate the entire continent.
Yeah, like we can't safely bring people in here to watch this. Like we're gonna get sued a bunch of times.
So funny.
So Goku starts to use power up a Super Kamehameha, which is basically just a regular Kamehameha, but more.
But super.
But it's super. Yeah. It's bigger.
Super duper.
And there's like some electricity around the ball.
But Roshi stops him. Roshi tells him don't do that.
Yeah, because it'll kill Kami. Mm-hmm. Which I guess is true.
I thought he was going to tell him, hey, don't do that because the motherfucker can fly and you're going to miss. Yeah. But he was like, Kami will die.
Yeah. Junior is like talking about world domination and etc. And Junior starts to charge up and the crowd starts to evacuate, which...
You probably should have done that once you revealed it was actually.
I probably would have left in the previous fight. Like the Kami versus Piccolo one.
I'd be like, oh, that's a green dude?
I would have been like, they're speaking another language? Alright, bye.
Yeah.
I'm going to go listen to this on the radio.
Bunker.
So Junior starts charging up and Goku basically feels like, what am I going to do? I can't attack him because it'll kill Kami. And then Krillin's like, wait, Goku, we could wish Kami back. And Goku's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, death has no meaning in this show.
Oh yeah, sounds good. So, but Junior doesn't know that they can do this, because as far as he knows, the dragon has been killed, right? He doesn't know the dragon's back. So we get a super cool beam struggle of a super Kamehameha and an explosive demon wave. This was pretty cool. I love a good beam struggle. And this was one of them.
Yeah, this was definitely one of them.
It looks like I think Goku wins it, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
And that brings us into 145. You want to take that one, Brad?
Yeah. 145, Junior, no more. The crowd flees after Junior is revealed to be Piccolo's reincarnation. Junior grows to considerable height to use an advantage during his match against Goku.
Yep.
This is pretty cool. You see the arena is just pretty much gone at this point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Arena's gone. I love how really all it took was him losing his hat. And people were like, holy fuck, it's Piccolo.
Yeah.
I was like, are you guys fucking kidding me?
Forgot about that.
That was so dumb.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and the worst part is that he's like far away.
Yeah.
He's not like easily visible in the sky. He's like a good 50 feet up, and someone's like, oh shit.
Yeah. It was almost like Superman and Clark Kent.
Yeah,
Like,
literally.
nobody can recognize him because he has a pair of glasses on.
Yeah. And so that is what sparks everyone to run away, not the giant energy blast that just destroyed the ring.
Right.
Would have killed you if you were caught anywhere closer than what you were. But yeah, that was silly.
Yeah, so then this is like the announcer says that it's Piccolo. The news broadcaster is saying that it's Piccolo. We see King Furry, and he's like, ah, shit. Here we go again. So everybody GTFOs except for the gang.
The Z Fighters.
Yeah. And the announcer, who has a job, damn it.
That man, hey, we gotta fight still, and there's gonna be a winner.
Yeah.
Whenever he gets paid is not enough.
I didn't hear no bell.
Yep. I think it's so silly. And Junior gets even bigger, right?
So this is the first grow. So he grows to be like 100 feet tall at this point now. He's so he gets super tall, and then Goku's like, how did his clothes grow? Which, that's a fair question. I do kind of wish though that he was just naked. Like, he grew and he was just naked.
I think that's just you, man.
Just me? That would be like Attack on Titan, where the Titans are naked. I just think it would have been really funny.
Funny, huh? As far, because I've definitely seen him like later on, just like randomly manifest clothes for like.
Yeah,
he can do that.
No,
he does it for Goku, Gohan.
Yeah.
He does it for
clothes don't make sense in this show. Like when King Piccolo creates what's his name, Drum, to fight Tien. In the last arc, he's just like born with clothes on.
Yeah.
You know, so like,
and he's like vastly bigger than King Piccolo.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not vastly, but he was definitely vastly bigger than the egg he hatched out of.
Yeah.
Like, that in and of itself was like, what?
Clothes just don't make sense.
Yeah.
Unless you're Goku, in which case you fight Emperor Pilaf butt-ass naked for like 10 minutes. In the Fortune Teller Baba Saga.
Honestly, I feel like that's his natural state. It's
Yeah.
just like,
yeah.
Taking the clothes off.
So
Junior finally gets Goku after they do a little bit of cat and mouse play. Gets him, he steps on him, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
And actually, and they do a little struggle for that. He puts his foot all the way down, and then Goku ends up,
but
knocking him down.
Tien's like having this like internal monologue where he like wants to help, but he also doesn't want to ruin the match. And I'm like, again,
guys, this is
guys,
the world we're talking about here. This ain't
we're not even through it.
We're way past the match, guys.
There's only,
but we're not.
Yeah, I didn't hear no bell.
The match is the only thing that matters. So he doesn't do anything.
So once Goku knocks Junior off of him and knocks him down, Junior grows again.
Yeah.
And yeah, you say he's got to be about 100 stories tall here.
Yeah, because like you see there's like a frame, like a scene where you see just like the whole screen is just like his foot. And then you see the people on the ground, like the gang, and they're like, they come up to like they're barely even on the screen, like compared to his foot. Like
yeah, he's a big dude.
Like he's a skyscraper at this point, basically.
Yep.
So everybody runs away except for Goku. And that brings us to 146. This one's you, John.
Yeah, Goku hangs on 147.
No, 146.
Oops. 146, Goku's trap. Goku frees Kami from the bottle. Piccolo reverts to his normal size. Goku persuades Kami to lead Piccolo up to him to defeat.
Yes.
And what you have written here first is what I was thinking. Like, if that man's 100 stories tall, he's out of bounds.
He can't move. Yeah.
Like, no, 100. Like, if his foot is that big, like one of his feet should take up the ring. So like he's out of bounds. Like we're done.
Yeah.
So
he's like a flamingo on the.
No, both of his feet were down. Match is over. Goku wins. Save the bullshit. But
so what is Goku's trap, John? How does he? What is his plan? It seems like he has a plan here, judging from the title of the episode.
I'll fight you in a dance parking lot at 3 a.m. Fucker. No, Goku just jumps up, Kamehamehas down Junior's throat, punches him a bunch of times, grabs the bottle, and then goes out.
Yeah.
It was a really stupid and easy plan that worked to perfection.
I loved they cut to Goku like in his like throat somewhere, and he's just literally just like he's just punching his throat. It's like,
as a person who's like recently had a cold, I can I can imagine what that felt like.
Yeah, it was just funny. He's just like kicking his throat, and then he somehow gets into his stomach, grabs the bottle, and gets out of there without getting boiled alive by stomach acid. But I don't know.
After that, Junior shrinks back down. He had enough of the big giant girl boys.
Yeah. So
I've seen a flaw in this tactic.
Yeah. So Goku throws the bottle to Tien, and Tien opens it.
I'm saying that would have been a great time for a Super Kamehameha. Where you're just like right in his guts.
Yeah, that would have been sweet. Like, I mean, we've seen that before, where like little person goes in the big person and just kills him from the inside.
Yeah.
But I still would have enjoyed
the whole how Ant-Man defeats Thanos theory.
Yeah.
No.
I would have I would have enjoyed it. So let's see. They start round 4, and they're up in the sky fighting, and it seems pretty even. Goku does a Kamehameha with his feet.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. He does it as a recovery. He gets hit, and you think Junior has the upper hand, and then you hear Goku charging a Kamehameha, and then all of a sudden he is about to hit, touch down on the ground and uses his feet and fires back up.
Does the ball form in his feet? Is he using his feet like hands? They form there, and then kind of like a hoverboard, and then he blasts up.
I mean, essentially, yeah, he's using that.
It was pretty sweet. He hits Junior. Junior hits Goku with a laser. And I'm just like, is Kami gonna do something here or what? Because he seems like the one character who's like,
the wild card.
This tournament is not important to you guys.
And we do, and
I mean, I'm pretty sure Goku's just like, dude, fuck off. All right, this is my fight.
Tournament is life.
Well, and you see that right in this episode because Junior throws a punch and he's gonna fuck Goku up, and you see Kami block it, and Goku gets very upset, and he sends Kami away, and then tells Junior that he gets a free punch because of it.
Shouldn't that-
Goku's not taking no asterisks, yo.
Shouldn't that have been like disqualified?
I mean, yeah, but on the other hand, Piccolo should have already been disqualified for stepping out of bounds. So who got disqualified first? And a disqualification on a disqualification means we got a fair fight on our hands.
So it washes out.
We'll just call it a fucking day.
All
Two
right.
wrongs do make a right in this scenario.
So Junior, he says, Junior, you can hit me for free. Kami's like, really? And the whole gang is like, yep. Kami's like, okay, I guess. It's just the world at stake. And so he hits him, and Kami says that Goku is stronger than he is, so he's surpassed God now.
Yep. So he doesn't even have to do it in Z.
He hasn't even begun to pass God, but he just did.
And then we see some homing energy beams. That's always kind of fun to see how people handle those. And Goku just runs right up to Piccolo. It's super dumb because like, you know exactly what he's gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He like runs around with the beams chasing him for a second, comes down, runs right up to Piccolo, and then disappears and the blast hit Piccolo. And we're like, wow.
It was like
seen that coming.
it was very like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
That's what I thought of. Like,
So, but the cool part about this is that you see Piccolo's arm get really badly wounded, and you're like, oh fuck.
and it's bleeding like a lot.
Like, and so all of a sudden Piccolo rips his arm off, throws it to the side, and then yells real loud and grows a new arm.
Yeah.
So this is the first time we see.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's
the first
always,
time we
it's
see
always
that.
dope
Yeah.
whenever that happens. I just love. You think it'd be easier to just regenerate from the wound as opposed to just growing a new arm entirely, but.
And I gotta wonder, like, the temporary pain of ripping off your own arm. Like,
Oh yeah.
Although it seems to be the growing the new one is the most painful part, honestly.
you would think the entire thing would just.
I'm just saying, like, it seemed
debilitating.
like it was more painful to grow it than it was
Yeah.
to rip it off.
Yeah. Well. He then Junior like puts his arms across his chest and he like starts to yell
crosses.
and he starts glowing, and so we know something's about to happen.
And Goku starts telling everyone that they need to get the fuck out.
Yep. And that brings us to 147. Goku hangs on. Piccolo destroys the World Martial Arts arena and most of the environment on the island using the hyper-explosive demon wave. Piccolo blasts a hole through Goku's chest using the mouth energy wave.
Are you naming these?
No, this is off the Dragon Ball wiki.
Fuck. I was really hoping that you were just naming these.
Yeah, I'm like...
That's not a good name for a move.
Yeah.
Mouth energy wave?
Yeah.
That sounds like a Pornhub category. But anyways, this episode really irritates me. I just want to preface with that. Because we spent half the episode of Goku telling them to fucking lead.
Yeah.
And then the other half of the episode is them just ignoring him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right.
Yeah, they're like they won't leave, and lots of yelling. Junior's
Which
doing
is the
a
part
lot
where
of yelling.
Chaozu comes back.
Chaozu comes back in the next one.
In the next one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Roshi's like, he's draining the environment of energy, and I'm like, what? How?
Yeah,
You just decide that. There's no evidence of that, Master Roshi. You're drunk.
You're drunk. And then we go through more of Goku telling them to leave. Nobody's leaving. Finally, Tien is like, I gotta do something. So he tri-beams a hole in the ground. Like, good job, dude.
I was like,
It's
he's
like 10 feet deep, maybe.
I was like, he's gonna like be helpful in the match. He's gonna like use an attack on Piccolo, but no, he just makes a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Like the tri-beam was like this super epic move in the last tournament that was like they talked about it, like they had like whole scenes talking about the tri-beam. They're like
It drains your life force.
Yeah, it shortens your life to use it.
It's more powerful than the Kamehameha. It's one of the most deadly energy blasts.
and like Roshi's like yelling at him, "Don't use it! It's too powerful."
Now we use it for landscaping.
And now it's a shovel.
It's the last time it's relevant until Cell Saga.
Yeah, that's true.
It's relevant in the Sand Saga.
Oh, is it?
We will,
Kind
well,
of.
we'll soon find out.
I guess we'll find out because I don't really remember the Sand Saga that much.
Yeah. So they jump in the hole, and Tien uses the thing, and they all need to get in the hole, and everybody's doing it except for Kami.
And Launch grabs him by the back of his neck, or like back of his like collar.
Yeah.
She's like, "Let's go!"
Yeah, and it's like,
I love her so much.
yeah, she just like grabs God by the collar,
throws him into the hole.
Just get in there, throws him in. Like, it was so
good.
And I felt like Piccolo was basically like turned into Doomsday at this point.
Yeah.
Where he's just like creating so much energy and like he's like just destroying the whole island. And he creates a giant explosion which blows the entire island into nothing.
Literally. I mean, there's nothing left. The whole island is brown.
Yeah.
But I don't really know. It doesn't really like explicitly say how Goku survived, but Goku's still there.
Yeah.
Goku's still standing.
Well, it definitely killed a bunch of people.
Oh yeah,
Because there's no way everybody got off that island. And
Yeah,
like,
there's some dead people for sure.
people live there. Like, what about the guy who owns the restaurant? Master Roshi's still got to pay that tab. And now he's dead. Anyway, so Goku's still there. We don't really know how.
Yeah, they don't really explain how Goku gets through that, whether he dodged it or just took it like a champ or what. But regardless, Goku counterattacks and beating the crap out of Junior. And I like this. In an uncharacteristically efficient move, he uses Super Kamehameha while Junior is laying on the ground.
Yeah.
That hits him dead on.
Usually he would he waits for them to get back up or something. Like, it's like, it was actually.
He does do that.
Yeah. Well, everybody in the show does that, right? Yeah. So he's laying in a crater, half covered in dirt, with his mouth wide open. And that had me thinking, like, because it appears that Junior is dead.
Yeah.
Which would disqualify Goku.
Yeah.
And he would lose the tournament.
Yeah.
But I guess we're good with that. So, like, because even back a few episodes ago, he was like, you can kill Junior because we can wish for Kami to come back. So, like, if this tournament's so important to him, like, why is he considering that as an option?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It just threw me. But the announcer is still there.
Yep, he's still going
Still
strong.
on.
He comes out to do a little count.
Yep, and it gets to 9, and then at the very last second, Junior sits up, shoots what was it called? Mouth energy wave.
Dumb name.
Hits Goku right through the chest, like right just above the lung. Hits him, and it goes all the way through.
He hits him with the Mew.
With the Mew?
The mouth energy wave.
Oh, the Mew. Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
He's got that Mew.
Yeah, let's start doing acronyms for these. I like it. So he earlier when he used the hyper explosive demon wave, that was the head whoop. Yeah, me too. I forgot that this happened to Goku though, and I was like, oh damn, that's.
Yeah, it's a big hole.
Yeah.
Like it's a big ass hole in his
It hurt a
fucking
lot.
chest.
Yeah.
Like, your lung is definitely gone, bro.
Oh yeah, most
At
definitely.
least part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, he
A good
definitely
part.
lost part of his
Substantial
lung.
part of it.
But
That's kind of how they leave.
So then we're down to round 5, and Junior goes up to Goku while he's laying on the ground and starts stepping on his wound. And then who's the voice actor for Goku? Sean Schemmel, is that his name?
Yeah.
So he has a good yell because
He does.
he has like his yell that's like, oh, that freaking hurts,
Yeah.
and you can tell because it's
Yeah.
like a very like agonizing.
There's like what I would
scream.
imagine like the strongest man in the world's like I'm in pain yell to be.
Yeah.
And then there's like a regular dude on the street who's just like getting murdered.
Yeah.
And that's what he sounds like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
Like,
you
for
can-
some
we
reason
can
it makes
all
it
feel
more
it.
heavy. I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I've definitely made similar sounds to that.
He's got a good yell, and I was like, oh shit, this is really not good. So the gang's like, we have to do something.
Tien and Yamcha try to run in,
Yeah.
and Junior like makes an energy like barrier that like kind of like
He just like puts a hole in the ground like
Yeah.
around him.
it's like just warning shots. Get
Yeah.
the fuck back.
And
But it distracts Piccolo long enough
mhm.
that Goku gets back up.
And he says,
It's not a
I didn't hear no bell.
oh.
And that brings us into 148. You want to take the last one?
Let's do it. 148 to Victor.
Yes. Where Goku wins.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a big surprise to me.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting it.
Did he get his ass kicked?
Yeah.
Thoroughly.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The first time I watched this, I was kind of surprised that he won because I was watching this episode. I'm like, how the fuck's this dude gonna win?
Yeah.
Because I mean, he gets elbowed in his wound.
Mm-hmm.
Junior breaks his leg.
Right.
He almost takes his arm.
Yeah, yeah. He like
He
burns
decides
a hole
not
in it.
to. Yeah, he burns a hole in his arm, but then he decides not to just take it. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, how is he gonna do this?
Yeah.
So, it was actually a little surprising to
He
me.
goes up into the sky for the kill. And it looks pretty cool. There's like electricity and the sky is red. And it made me wonder, like, if Goku did die from this, would the rest of the gang be able to win? Like, with Kami?
No.
At this point, with Piccolo being as weak as he is?
Absolutely not.
No?
No. Because, like, Goku could already, I'm sure, could take on Krillin and Tien. I'd say the two strongest Z fighters.
Mhm.
And then you're not even going to include Yamcha and, like, Chaozu. And, like, Kami has already been bested by Piccolo. So it's like, at this point, it's like, it's Goku's whole thing. And that's like another thing that I've, like the gulf between like Goku and the rest of the Z fighters always felt like a bit unfair, you know?
Yeah.
But Toriyama loves this guy.
He does. He does. Yeah, I was expecting Kami to jump in front of the blast when he fires it, but he didn't. And it looked like a dead-on shot. It looked like he got vaporized. But somehow, when Junior's giving his victory speech, they look up in the sky and they see him flying right towards Junior. And how did this happen? I wonder if... I thought he ate a sensu bean or something.
No,
Because, like, you got a broken leg, you got a pierced lung, your arm's burned off. How did you get into the sky?
yeah,
I didn't understand it, to be
I
honest.
don't think that they explain it.
I don't think they do either.
Could have done like another Kamehameha wave.
Yeah, maybe.
With
like-
one arm. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. But regardless, he's in the sky now,
Yeah.
and he's
And
flying
he is
right out.
coming. And I think it's silly because the whole, like, all the Z fighters are like watching Goku, and Piccolo hasn't figured it out yet. And as he's turning, Goku nails him.
Headbutts him
Yeah, like
Yeah.
right.
in the chest.
Yeah, right in like the chest.
Mm.
And then he calls the announcer out there and he's like, "Did I do it? Is he out of bounds now?" He's like, "Dude, homie, chill.
Yeah.
Like, we're just gonna let you in at this
Like,
point."
shut up, man.
I think that's really what they did. The announcer the announcer comes out and he's like, "Well, there's not much ring left. I mean, yeah, you win.
Yeah.
Good job.
Sure, man.
You win."
Good
And I
job.
was like, okay, that seems like you could have just done that a little bit earlier, I
Here's
guess.
your-
But like, whatever.
here's your-
Go kill the devil, please.
Here's your medal. Nice job. But we know that Junior's not dead because Kami is still there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's so they have this whole thing where Kami is going to kill Junior.
Kami is gonna kill Junior. Goku stops him. Yajirobe pops up for a second. Gives out his little sensu bean action.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we learn that sensu beans can heal
Wounds.
like hella wounds.
Yeah.
Because Goku just his whole hole is immediately patched up.
Yeah, he's just got a scar now.
I don't get why these fuckers are like so obsessed with Dragon Ball. Senzu beans are clearly like
Yeah,
The way to go.
I agree. You should fully invest in sense.
Yeah. Stock would be through the roof.
We need to cultivate this.
Yeah.
So Goku tells him to stop because he said, like, we can't wish you back because...
Well, first he says, Kami, you're not allowed to lie, right? And then he was like, yeah, you can't do that because if you die, then won't the Dragon Balls die?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I was a hoe.
He's like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But he was just gonna let himself die, right? To kill Junior.
Yeah. It was the trade-off was worth it to him.
And he has like an existential crisis, and he feels like he can't be the Earth's guardian anymore. But Roshi kind of changes his mind. They do like this whole big flashback to like the earlier days with all the fighters and how the Dragon Balls brought them all together.
I really enjoyed that.
I did too.
I like the way that Roshi phrased it. We won't go too deep into it, but it's a good episode.
Yeah.
It's a really good episode. You get a really nice flashback and like kind of a cultivation of what this show has, especially the Warriors. The Warriors specifically, and the progression that the Warriors have made in 7 years.
Yeah, 5, I think.
5.
But anyway, yeah.
But no, it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, and it was good because he's like, well, you created the Dragon Balls, and that brought all these people together and made this amazing story and this whole thing.
And then Kami says, "Wear the turtle school with pride," and then
it gives
they all do for the rest of the show.
And then again, clothes don't make sense in the show, and he gives Goku a nice shiny new set of clothes.
Yes.
And Goku, classic Goku, gives Junior a sensu bean.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, the fuck, man?
I would be so pissed. I would be legitimately upset.
I would have just left. We're not friends anymore, Goku.
You're the villain?
He's like, and then he says some like cheesy thing. He's like, I need a rival, or how else am I gonna get stronger? Or something.
Selfish asshole.
Yeah.
It's a real selfish dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
But, I mean, we do find out that if he had not done that,
the Dragon Balls would have gone.
Things would have panned out differently in the next arc.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, plot. So this is when Kami brings Chaozu back to life.
When did Chaozu die?
Tao killed him.
No, he didn't. He just wounded him.
Yeah, he went to the hospital.
Chaozu went to the
comes.
hospital.
Yeah, he goes to the hospital and he like pops back up. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm back from the hospital."
Oh yeah, okay.
You have that right in here. I'm like, that motherfucker didn't die.
I thought I literally couldn't remember.
Nah.
Like that's how insignificant.
I knew you were trying to
Chaozu
gaslight me in
is.
here. Trying to gaslight.
That's how little of a shit I give about Chaozu.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember if he died or was just mortally wounded, but he does come back, and he's got a bandage on his head.
And then Kami tries to give Goku his job.
Yeah, he's
like,
no thanks. I'm gonna go fuck my wife. Fuck my wife. And then they take off on the Nimbus Cloud.
Yep.
And that's the end of the saga.
That's it. I mean, it's the end of the canon saga because there's actually like 5 episodes of filler after this.
Oh, we're not watching those?
No, we're not watching. Yeah.
And I remember, I think it has to do with like the Bancho fan.
Yeah, because they need to get
the fire starts again.
They're gonna get married, and then
everything goes wrong.
The house is on fire, and they have to get the fan so they can do the thing, and blah. It doesn't matter. So that's the end of Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball.
Wow.
It's over.
Wild,
We made it.
magical ride.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Yeah. It's been a wild ride, but really we're just getting started.
Yeah, I
Sure
mean,
are.
we have plenty more to do.
So you guys can expect the Saiyan Saga Part 1.
Well, we're gonna do the movie.
Yep.
The movie we're gonna try to take care of next week, right?
Yeah, we should have the Dead Zone movie out in a week, and then the following week we'll have the Saiyan Saga Part 1. And then we're just gonna keep cruising
Keep going
along.
along.
Well, the schedule might change a little bit once we switch over to these longer arcs, depending on what to figure out how we're gonna
Yeah, we've got
structure those.
some of the arcs are like I think I have
Episodes.
the Frieza saga as like 4 parts because it's like it's a lot.
Yeah.
And especially because we're going to be talking about these episodes more because they're condensed in Kai, right? There's more happening
Yes.
because they
Yes,
cut
there
the
is.
fillers. So thanks for listening, guys.
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah.
We do get a little piece of lore in this episode. Senzu beans taste like fish.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he does say
It's
that.
very important.
Yeah.
It's very important to me that everyone that watches or listens to the show knows that senzu beans taste like fish.
Yeah, they do. I guess. I wonder what kind of fish.
Question for a different day, Alex.
I hope it's salmon. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys.
See y'all later.
And we'll see you next time.